Welcome to Online Marketing. Today's presentation is going to be by Connie Hancock, Extension Educator with the University of Nebraska Extension and also very heavily involved in our entrepreneurship program. Connie's had a lot of experience with this, and I'm just delighted to turn the program over to her and the many things she has to share with you today. Connie?
Well, with me today is Alice Henneman. Alice is also a UNL Extension Educator and has done a lot of work with farmers markets and small business owners as well. So I appreciate Alice being part of the conversation today as we think about our online marketing strategy. You know, in today's world, we focus on what are we going to share online and how are we going to get all these profiles and what are we going to do. But oftentimes, we don't necessarily stop to think before we create. And so today what we're trying to focus on is, what is it that you want to accomplish? That's the first question that you need to ask yourself as a small business owner as you begin this journey of your online marketing strategy. What is it that you want to accomplish? As you think about that, do you want to reach more customers? Do you want to sell more product? Do you want to engage with your customers? Do you want to provide information? Do you want to have them download information? Those are all things that, if you have identified your goal, you'll be able to accomplish that. One of the things also is you think about is your online experience. What are your technical skills? And I know Alice has worked with a lot of business owners around their online presence and getting websites created for them. Alice, can you speak to technical skills and how important knowing what your technical skills are and your ability is?
Well, I think it's important that whatever medium you're using, that you know how to use it, because it is a reflection of you as far as how you look. And you know, people look at what you're putting out there, and if what you're doing doesn't look that good, or the information, there's spelling errors, something's done wrong, people think, well, what about their product? Do they also do mistakes and so on with your product? So knowing what technical skills you need for whatever medium that you start with, and as Connie brings you along on this, you'll find that you don't have to know it all right away, but just, you know, get started, learn as you go, correct, and keep moving. It's that keep moving part that makes you the success.
Exactly, Alice. And the other part of your technical skills, you'll become frustrated if you don't have the skills to accomplish certain things online. So you may want to consider hiring somebody to do that. But knowing up front what your skills are and what you're able to do is going to be critical. We always teach people to check out the competition. Go out and find what people are doing in your arena, in your industry, what they're doing online, because we can learn from them. We can't copy what they're doing, but we can learn from them. And one of the first things that we have people do is do a search for using keywords. So as you think about your business, what are the keywords that people would be searching for me on? And do the same in one of the browsers or the search engines, such as Google or Ask or Yahoo, Bing. Any of those would be great places to start that keyword search, so that you can begin to then understand what your keywords are and how people might find you.
And you know, with this, you'll just get a lot of good ideas when you start searching on those keywords of, you know, what is it that you like? What draws you in? And it helps you define who your subject matter, what your subject matter is, and who your target audience is. So I think that really, it takes a little while to get started, but you're going to save time in the long run.
Doing that homework up front is critical, so that, again, as Alice mentions, it takes a long time up front, but then once you start that journey, the journey of this online strategy, you're going to be much better and efficient at what you do.
And less bumps in the road.
Less bumps in the road, exactly. So one of the other things that we need to think about is your online brand. Is it different than your brick and mortar store, your physical store? And how can you be consistent with the two? So one of the first things that you'll be wanting to do is to identify that domain name. And think about your domain name and how it describes your business. It needs to be something that can be easily remembered, and you want to be able to use it consistently as you create the other social media profiles that we'll be talking about. So the domain name is one of the first things that you need to think about. In order to get a domain name, you need to search for domain name registrars. And some good examples are GoDaddy.com, Register.com, HostMonster.com. Those are all examples of potential places where you can purchase your domain name. Now, each of those domain name registrars have different features, different services. So again, you're going to need to do your homework about what you want out of that particular registrar. Some of them offer emails, some of them don't. Some of them use that for a fee service. So you really need to do, again, the homework around what this registrar has to offer to you as you purchase that domain name. And you may want to purchase a lot of domain names or several domain names. .com from a business perspective, .biz from a business perspective may be what you want, but look at all of the different extensions that are available to you.
Connie, when a person gets started, is there any type of domain name, or like, you know, you hear the .com, .biz, there's even a .me. Is there one, if you're going to choose among all of those, it's best to get started with?
Well, the .com obviously is the most popular one around the business environment, but because there's been so many domain names with the .com, you may not be able to get the one that has your particular profile or the one that you're looking for. So you're going to need to do a search for that. A .biz is also very acceptable in today's world as well from a business perspective. The next thing that we want you to do is claim your bubble. And what does that mean? Well, the mapping tools that are out there, Google Maps, Bing Maps, Yahoo Maps, MapQuest, all have location spots with your physical location on them. Years ago, Google came around to a lot of our communities and took pictures and put that bubble on the location. You can go claim that bubble if you have moved or if the bubble is not in the right location, and that's a free service that Google offers. You want to do that on Bing as well, because Bing is associated with Facebook. And if you're going to claim a Facebook page on using the address and whatnot that Facebook has to offer, you're going to want to make sure that you have the Bing address as well in the accurate spot.
Connie, if a person isn't using this right away, is it still maybe important to go ahead and claim that even though you haven't gotten started in using that part in your marketing campaign?
Very much so, because how many of us use mobile devices today to find a particular location, or if we're going through a community, we're traveling and we're looking for a particular service, the location had better be pretty accurate. I know in one of the communities I was traveling to, I wanted a coffee shop, and the coffee shop was actually moved 3 blocks away. So it was really hard to find that coffee shop because the location was not accurate on the mapping tool. And that's our responsibility to make sure that that is accurate information. Again, it's a free service that's available to us. The other thing that these mapping locations have are reviews. And you might be surprised that people are already doing reviews and recommendations for your particular business. So these mapping tools are extremely important, not only from a location-based perspective, but as well from a review perspective.
Well, Connie, would you recommend that maybe people even search right now to see if they're on there? You might be surprised as to you may be appearing in a review somewhere.
Yes. Go to any of the maps and do a search for yourself, and you will be surprised at what people have said or where your location is at today. So we're in this whole environment world of what is the online strategy, and we firmly believe that the website is the critical key in this whole environment, and so that's the place that we're going to drive people to, and it's the thing that you own as a business owner. So think about that, and what does your website offer? What does your website today tell the story about who you are as a business owner, and what services or information are you providing? All the things around the circle then are our social media tools. And again, we can claim those profiles on any one of those social media tools, but we want to be active. And so once you've claimed those, make sure that you're ready for the environment that the social media world is going to provide you. One of the factors that we've told people that if you're not social in the real world, think about how you're going to be social in the online world, because it's going to be a very engaging environment as customers begin to find you, follow you, and engage with you in the conversation on any one of these tools.
You know, Connie, one of the things that I find in working in the social world is that unlike the real world where you have to have your elevator speech ready when you encounter somebody, you do get a chance to think about what you're going to say before you hit send or before you post something. So it's really not quite as scary as you might think.
Oh no, it's way fun. It is a time factor, and that's something that you have to consider. But it's the whole environment of being online is extremely critical today, as people do more searches for business owners and for particular services. And so, if you're not online in any of these environments, how are people going to find you today?
And online is where they're going to start looking first.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, we start with the website, and there's lots of different ways that we can think about the website. There's the do-it-yourself, and there's these are just 3 different examples of templates that are out there. All of the web hosts also have templates that are available to you as you create that web hosting environment. Wix and Weebly.com are both great free tools available to you. Again, realize that they are free services, and so there's some limitations to what they have to offer. WordPress is also a very popular way to get a website started. It's a blogging tool as well, but many businesses are using it as their website. If you're going to go into the web developer environment, make sure you do your homework, because many of these web developers have great creative, innovative ways to create websites, but you want to make sure that you've done your homework around fees, what their fees are. If they buy your domain name, make sure that you actually are the owner of that domain name. There's been too many horror stories around that web developers have bought the domain name and have never then transferred the ownership to the actual business owner. Any one of these, then you also need to have some sort of a web host. And again, you're going to need to do your homework around those web hosting and make sure that you've read the fine line. What services do they offer? What are their fees? How much do they charge? All that information is going to be critical as you think about the budget of what your website is going to cost you and what the services then are available to you as a business owner.
You know, Connie, I think back to where you mentioned what kind of technical skills you have. If you have one of these websites, you need to know who is going to take care of things. If something happens, who's going to fix it? And will the person that set it up for you be available? What time frames are they available? Or is there a cost if some of your coding just goes really awry? So again, just something kind of think about as you get into this and ask, do like when you did your keyword word search, think about in advance how this might work. And again, it's going to be so much easier later on if you do the work up front.
Yep. Alice makes a great point with any of these. What's the support that is provided by them? Is it 24/7? Is there a real person that you can talk to if you have a question? Those are all great questions to ask as you begin this journey of creating your website and identifying who's going to do it for you and where you're going to host it at. Great points, Alice. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So here's an example of a website, food.unl.edu, the Buy Fresh, Buy Local, the local food site. And it's a very simple site, and but it's got great information. And so again, you think of your customer and what you're doing here and providing. This happens to be an education site. It's not necessarily a business site, but it does provide a lot of resources from a food business perspective. And so make sure you check out this site. In terms of social media, we want you to start small. We don't think that you have to have all of those profiles and be active on all of those profiles. You may want to claim the actual profile in case somebody else would happen to take your domain name from those, but start small. Do one thing, do it well. If you're not on Facebook personally, get a Facebook profile, get a Twitter profile, and start to just play with that and learn some of the techniques and the tools and what other people are doing in that environment. But as you also create those, be prepared to commit some time. You may want to do it once a week to begin with. As you become more adept at posting, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or any of those, you may want to commit more time to that. And I think as you start that journey, it will be way more fun to start to look at that every day and sometimes multiple times a day.
You know, and too, Connie, I would say to look at the analytical tools that go with all of these, because most of them have something that will tell you how many visits you're getting, whether people are clicking on links on that website. whether people are following you if you're on Twitter, to kind of figure out what's the most effective, what's getting you the most business. You can find out from some tools which of these social media are driving people back to your site. So whether or not you want to put a lot of time in those, or maybe you need to readjust your course a bit and do something a little bit different with how you're working with those.
Yep, exactly. So the whole point is to be regular, to monitor that, and then to engage in the conversation. It's not always all about you, because what the customer is the most important factor here. And so as you ask questions of the customer, don't always make it a hard sell, but provide information, and the customers then will also ask questions of you, of the product or the service, or the thing that you want them to do is to say how wonderful you are as a business owner, what your products are, and that they love doing business with you. Those are the engaging kinds of things you want people to comment about your reviews. So we talked about consistency on your online profile, and Alice does a phenomenal job of being able to be consistent with all of her profiles. So as you create these, whether it's on YouTube or SlideShare, Twitter, Flickr, Pinterest, LinkedIn, she has Alice Hinneman as her profile on all of those. Now what you want to do is you create that website and get your domain name, is potentially use your domain name or website address as the profile here with your online environment. So consider that, be consistent. Again, that shows a lot of professionalism on your part as a small business owner in creating that online environment. So quickly on Facebook. Facebook is still one of the popular ways, and there's lots of ways from a business perspective to utilize Facebook today. Buy Fresh, Buy Local does have a Facebook page, and you want to create a Facebook page. In the world of Facebook, you need a profile, but as a business owner, you need to create a page, a business page, because that offers you some additional features that a profile doesn't. Again, you want to be consistent, you want to be active, you want to be engaging. You want to share photos and videos. Today, the photo and video world is way more important in telling our story and showing people what we have to offer.
And I think we can point out here too, just the very colorful picture that they have up there. It really makes you think about, it helps you identify what they are and what they do. So kind of think about what you're putting up there, what's going to get people, because a picture does tell 1,000 words. So that picture is going to be very important in telling more about your business, and think about that. Maybe change it up every once in a while to show the different things that are happening.
Well, people do like new stuff, and so in today's world, it is going to be important for you not to keep that picture up for 12 months out of the year.
Exactly.
But you may want to provide a new profile picture on a fairly regular basis, and during the season.
Yes, definitely.
If you are in that farmers market environment, or even in a retail store environment, sharing new photos all the time is really an important aspect. Google Plus. Google Plus is Google's way of the whole Facebook environment. It's a very engaging way of creating that, and we all say, why Google? Well, Google is still a big business around the whole search environment, and what they do is they go out and search for new information every day. And so having that Google Plus page from a business as we move into this environment is going to be critical for you as a business owner. So at least claim the page and begin to engage in the conversation in Google Plus. Again, be consistent, be active, be engaging, share photos and video. Twitter. Twitter is a really fun little way to provide quick snippets of information. You only have 140 characters in the Twitter world. And it's interesting that the age level of Twitter has moved from Facebook to the Twitter world. So that age has dropped. There's a lot of younger folks, I think, in that 18 to 30 age that are using Twitter more than they were Facebook. And one of the ways that you can find a lot of products is doing searches on Twitter. So Twitter allows people to follow you. And so once they follow you, you provide that information in that 140 character. You want to create a hashtag or look at the hashtag environment and follow different conversations around different topics. It's a way to promote products. You can have conversations with customers. You can also monitor feedback and trends. And those are ways that, again, being social in this world of social media. YouTube is another great tool. It's a free service. Google owns YouTube, and so having all of the videos up there, the number of videos that are posted on an hourly basis is just absolutely incredible. YouTube is a way to entertain with your product, your business. It's a way to promote your product. It's a way to educate people. It's a way to engage. It's also a way to instruct and demonstrate certain things. And so if you've got a particular product or food that you're trying to show people how to prepare it, you know, that's a great way to quickly pop up a YouTube video. And with the mobile devices today, it's as easy as that.
Okay, I'm going to say too, if you're afraid about everything going out on YouTube, you can upload it so that it's unlisted first. Check it out, have some friends look at it and see, is it all right? And then you can release it to the public. So you're not exactly live the minute you put up there. So they're in all of these. There are little ways to build in to check it. And one of the things I always say to people is know where the delete key is before you begin.
Yes, you can do that. Okay, Pinterest is a new, well actually it's a couple, 3 years old now, but Pinterest is a totally image-based social media tool. And it's a great way to show your products. It's pictures of new products, it's sneak peek of what's coming up, specials and events. It's a great way to tell your story through the images. I had one local business owner tell me that she gets 75% of her traffic to her website from Pinterest and the boards that she has created and the images that she has put up, not only about her product, but about activities and events that affect her particular business and her target audience. And so I think that's another way that we need to consider, it's another tool that we need to consider to use, is that picture, but it is totally image based. Photo sharing is another way, so Pinterest, Flickr, Picasa, Instagram, those are all tools out there in terms of photo sharing. So as you take the photos for Facebook, for Twitter, for Pinterest, you might want to just consider one of these tools to share. It's a way to use your keywords to describe that particular product or the activity that's going on. And the number of people that are out on any one of these particular tools is a phenomenal way to capture a new audience, not only the audience that you're currently working with. So it's a way to store your photos, it's a way to organize, share, edit some images if you need to, provide some sort of explanation about that particular product, and then you can tag those photos for search. And that's the really critical key as we think about the keywords of our particular business and how we are going to try to market that in different ways. Social media. What we want you to do is to start small. Don't think you have to do it all at once, but start small, but start with something. This whole online marketing, you've got to start and you've got to be active and engaged. Be prepared to commit some time. It's not like you can just plop it up and it's going to grow. You've got to you've got to work at that. You've got to create new events, new call to actions, new marketing campaigns all the time to get people engaged. You need to be regular. And how regular is that? Well, you know your audience. Is it every day? Is it once a week? Is it twice a week? You need to then realize what your time is and what's the best use of your time in developing that marketing strategy. Monitor. All of these tools have analytics involved in it, and so you can monitor the activity that goes on, where these people are coming from, what gender they are, what age group they are, when they're coming, and that will help you then create the best marketing strategy in this online environment. But be engaging. Have a little fun with it, because this is what this is all about. Being social is about being fun, but it's also providing kinds of information about your business that's really critical as you think about growing your business and reaching that new audience. online marketing strategy, it's not an easy environment. And so you have to really think about what is it that you want to accomplish, what skills do I need, and how am I going to make that work. I thank Alice for being here with me today in terms of talking about the online marketing strategy. More information can be identified at thepowerofbusiness.net.